Let me tell you exactly why America is not a great country, why the US is not a great nation. For one, we constantly fight against each other. Like, we literally understand our oppression clearly, but we never get to the point in terms of, actually targeting the proper groups, right? We constantly think, if you're Asian American and you see that affirmative action happens, you're blaming black people. If you're black and you see that like an Asian person has a little bit of meager wealth, you blame them. If you're Latino, you think, hey, I like, why do black people get like this special treatment somehow? Like, bitches. You know your oppression so well, but you constantly target the wrong fucking group. Why? And then don't even get me started on white Americans, because white Americans, they know their oppression so well that they keep targeting other groups, other people, so much, because they're just like, oh, well, they're a model minority. That's what they say about Asians, and that's how they justify the existence of Asians. Or, oh, well, black people keep complaining, when in fact, they are also facing bullshit the same ways that you are. Maybe not the exact same shit, but they are experiencing bullshit at a systemic level that you never come to understand and even try to empathize with. And that is a problem, that you cannot empathize with them. It's a problem that you can never empathize with Native Americans whenever they try to bring light to their own issues, because you keep thinking, hey, we're here now, or our ancestors conquered your ancestors type of bullshit. Like, what does that have anything to do with fairness and justice, right? What does that have anything to do with, doing the right thing, which is literally giving them reparations, giving the black descendants of enslaved persons reparations? What the fuck? What does that have anything to do with that? And why does it benefit you if you believe the U.S. government statistics that only 250,000 Filipinos were killed during the beginning years of the U.S. occupation on the Philippines, when in reality, actual scholars literally saw that figure was up to 1.4 million people? Why does that benefit you to erase history and to be fucking ignorant? The reason why America is not a great country is because we're all fucking ignorant at the same time to each other's issues. We constantly, love to hold up our identities, right? And there's nothing wrong with identity politics, in my opinion. Identity politics is literally how the Third World Liberation Front was able to get Black Studies, Asian American Studies, Latino American Studies programs to exist, Native American Studies programs to exist. That's why they exist today. Even though they're trying to roll that shit back, they do exist today because of solidarity. Our predecessors coming together and actually having solidarity for a just cause. Even the various civil rights movements were intercommunal. Just because it's called, the Black Civil Rights Movement doesn't mean that it was only black people there. Just because it was called the Native American Civil Rights Movement or the Chicano Civil Rights Movement doesn't mean that it was only them there. It was always, with the air of solidarity. And we've forgotten that. We have forgotten that solidarity is so important. We've forgotten the value of solidarity. And instead, we want to see our communities as, independent entities that shouldn't give a fuck about others people. That's why America is not a great country. That's part of why. And because of that, you know what the US government does? It imperializes the rest of the fucking world. It still has a stranglehold of the Philippines, in fact. The Philippines is still a fucking puppet state of the US because of the fact that we just allow that bullshit. We just allow that bullshit to happen. We even allow that bullshit to happen to South Korea and Japan. They are also puppet states to a degree. They might have higher qualities of life and standards of living, but they are still, at the whim of the U.S. government. There are so many countries around the world that are subservient to the U.S. and its interests. Even Israel, even with the memes that go around, with the misinformation that goes around that suggests that Israel is actually, the United States of Israel, that's the reality, when in fact Israel would not exist without the U.S. You want to know proof of that? My ancestors, like what, 125 years ago or so, they were occupied by the U.S. because the U.S. was the imperialist state, and it has always been an imperialist state, and will continue to be one so long as it is able to get away with it. And it can get away with it because people do not fucking care enough. The people who have power do not fucking care enough. Even now, when more of us have some semblance of power than ever, we choose to consolidate that, and we choose to, be in our ignorance with it, rather than try to use our limited amount of political power and will to literally help others, to stop genocides from happening, to stop wars from happening, to stop exploitation of labor, land, and resources abroad from happening. Because of course, we don't even have anything here, and so we are pitted against each other constantly, and we never fucking get the assignment. We never understand the assignment, and we never fulfill it to the best of our abilities. Instead, all we end up doing is fighting each other. We just fight each other again and again, over and over, until there's nothing left. When you say fuck around and find out to Latino Americans just because, some of them voted a certain way, or Asian Americans just because some of them, support a fucking affirmative action policy that you don't like. What the fuck do you actually get from that bullshit? You don't actually get any type of net benefit. All you get from that type of bullshit is, the people who you could be aligned with. Yeah, maybe you might disagree on one or two fucking little issues, but so what? They're still fucking human beings. They still deserve to have fucking life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. There's very elements of liberty and justice for all that we're taught as American citizens in primary school. In fact, we never understand that shit anymore. You can't be for liberty and justice for all if you see fuck around and find out as being something that's acceptable. You can't be for liberty and justice for all and watch anti-blackness happen constantly and say nothing about it. It's not about you, like this group versus that group. It's not about, white versus black versus Asian versus Latino versus whoever the fuck. America can be great if we had solidarity with each other on the basis of class, economic class, racial class, everything that is currently used to divide us. We can use that shit to unite us, and that's when America will be a great nation for once in its fucking lifetime. So yeah, that's what I had to say. Are you gonna do it? Are you going to put in the effort necessary to make this happen? Anyway, thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.